Hey guys, it's Dr. Steve, master of the subconscious mind and doctor who fixes 100% of orthopedic issues not related to cancer, fracture, or infection. And yesterday I made a post that was about enlightenment. And enlightenment is knowing that there is no right or wrong. And it's about staying in honesty and integrity and morality at all cost. So it's taking the high road even when others may not really deserve it. And so that is basically the golden rule. It's to do unto others as you would done unto yourself. And so enlightenment is not a way out of this world because you think it's miserable. Enlightenment is not about finally feeling good. What enlightenment is that feeling of nothingness, right? Enlightenment is basically where feeling good means nothing, and also where feeling bad means nothing. It's just existing. It is just being. That's what consciousness is, and that's what enlightenment is. It's not judging things that are occurring in your life because everything is designed and orchestrated in a unique way that is for your highest and best good. And so it's the true detachment from outcomes without without judgment. That's what enlightenment is. And so, it's living through the soul and surrendering to the mind. And it's not logical. It's just inner knowing. When you know the truth, you just know. There's no logical explanation. You need no one explain it to you. You just know it's truth. And that is surrendering to the mind, or surrendering the mind into the soul and operating through vibration and resonance. There's no reason they have to explain things to people or why. And a lot of people that are stuck in the 3D world are never going to understand because they're only seeing things with their eyes and what they can hear and their three-dimensional realities. That's fine. They may not come to that realization this life, next life, who knows when. It's not our place to judge them or tell them how or what, allow them to judge us, think we're crazy, whatever the case. It's not our place for that, right? But it's the inner knowing, and it's just existing, it's just being. That's what consciousness is, and that's what enlightenment is. So basically what I want to do today is I want to teach how enlightenment speaks and how it moves, because it starts with awareness. And there's basically four things that deter you from enlightenment. Okay. And those four things that deter you from enlightenment are the first one being righteousness. And it's the need to be right or defend yourself and your beliefs at all costs, sacrificing all integrity. And these people that are righteous, they will only be your friend if you agree with them. Otherwise, you are their enemy. And we see that very common today in all the political events and things that are going on, right? Love is not control, love is not force. It is basically one-sided, right? And otherwise it's conditional, right? I do this for you, I love you. You don't do this for me, I don't love you. And so righteousness in that energy demands that you listen to them. If you eat a certain way and it worked for you, it's got to work for everybody, even though we're all genetically different. And I've realized that working with people's genetics, looking at their DNA and the different genes that are associated with that. There is no right or wrong way. Every individual is different, right? So we can't judge every circumstance and let other people come to their conclusions at their own time, right? And so the second one being entitlement. And entitlement is ego says that you deserve certain situations or situations in your life because of you've been a good person. This is what so-and-so has, so I should have it too. I grew up a certain way, and that person has that because they were born in that family, right? That's entitlement. And entitlement is that need, and in a need and want, the universe doesn't deliver. It just won't give you that. It's a need and a want. You're always going to be sitting there with an empty hand, wanting and asking others to feel sorry for you because you don't have it, right? So nobody's entitled to anything, right? Everybody has an opportunity, especially in America. Everybody has an opportunity. Take advantage of it. Step out of your comfort zone. Do what needs to be done. to create those three things you want in your life, right? Because what are those three things? I always keep telling everybody, right? People want love, they want they want money, and they want health, right? All those things are in your capability. You can have all of them, and they're in your control if you choose, right? So, and the third one being neediness, right? And so in neediness, whatever you do for the needy person, it's never going to be enough, right? No matter what. And so it's basically, how do I want to say this? It's in that space of neediness, when it's never enough, they go into a form of rage, right? They will attack you, right? It's like they're an oscillating fan, right? They're just searching for the next person to get that attention from, because they need to be heard. They need to seek the external validation that they have worth. And so, you know, and if you don't listen to them, there's hell to pay. You know, the most enlightened spiritual man ever to exist on earth, Jesus, was ridiculed, persecuted, insulted, right, for his beliefs. And you know, it's kind of one of these things where the neediness of people, and he didn't care. He just had a message, right? That's what we want to emulate. That is exactly what we want to emulate, and then be in that space of forgiveness when others don't do as we think they should, right? Because in that place of forgiveness, you know, it's forgive them, Father, for they don't know what they do. A lot of people are just unconscious. They don't realize that they are needy. But what happens is, a neediness person, when they go in that fit of rage, when they don't get what they think they deserve, they go into the righteousness and entitlement. So it all goes full circle. It's kind of funny. But, you know, the fourth one is righteousness. I'm sorry, the fourth one is victimhood. And in victimhood, it's the woe is me. Everyone's against them, right? They were born into a certain family. They were born in a certain area. You know, their behavior is just that way because that's what they learned from their family, right? They don't take any responsibility for their actions, right? They sacrifice their integrity and blame it because of their past experiences and the things that people have done to them. That's victimhood, right? So through all this, these four things, you know, through my spiritual awakening and becoming conscious, I have to thank the twin flame experience. And so a lot of people don't know what the twin flame is. And a twin flame relationship is basically the same soul that, like, basically at mitosis through creation, it's split in two. And so they're very similar energetic vibrational frequencies. And there's a divine purpose behind that relationship. And the relationship's purpose is for one counterpart to learn to open their heart, and the other counterpart to learn to be unconditionally loving. That's it. So you got one that backstabs the other, and they fight and they mirror each other, and there's all these problems in the relationship, and they seem toxic. So through all this, I came to the awakening, the realization through visions and meditations and things. But you know, I had to learn a lot of these detours, right? And so, you know, I just want to, you know, basically say thank you to her, right? Because she was part of the journey to bring that awakening, to bring me to enlightenment, right? And so thank you for cheating on me. Thank you for all the broken promises you ever gave me, that you would do all the things you said you would do, or all the things you said you would never do and did, right? You know, thank you for the silent treatment and the narcissism. Thank you for using me to grow your business and create contracts for you, and I got nothing in return. Thank you for stealing money from my patients that I referred to you to help them and never did the work. Promised them the world and didn't do anything for the money. You know, thank you for saying, fuck you, fuckface, lose my number, I'm going to beat your ass, when I create a vision board and bought you a book about manifestation, teaching you how to grow your business and promising you I would be there for you to help you grow it. All because I didn't include your kids in the vision board, when all you had to do was ask and I would have given you whatever you wanted. It was that easy. Instead, you got hurt and lashed out in the sense of victimhood and neediness. But, listen, all the things, I don't know how to do anything but unconditionally love. So I just want you to know, if you ever see this, that I do love you unconditionally, right? So I could have done all kinds of things, but I took the high road, right? I could have stooped to her level. I could have, basically gone online, reviewed her business. I could have taken her to court for the money that I was really owed for doing the work on her business that I was promised to be paid. I didn't expect anything in return. I did it just out of the sheer fact that I'm loving. That's it. Didn't really need it in return. I don't need anything from anybody. But, I could have even lashed out and had bad things happening with your kids because you use your kids as props on social media to portray yourself in a certain way, right? And also I just want to thank you for this other thing, right? And that is that blocking me on social media so that you could start another relationship with someone else and then come back 2 weeks after you launched it when you're absent for a month in a new relationship to make it look like you're so wonderful on social media and do nothing wrong, right? So, but the thing is, you do all these things and still I will sit here and say I unconditionally love you and forgive you, because love is not meant to be guaranteed. It's one-sided. Unconditional love is on one-sided. It is not, I do this for you, you do this for me, so you fit in my box, right? And so you taught me that, right? You taught me the only thing that cannot be taken from you is a love that you cultivate in your own heart, and the high road you insist on taking, right? That is what I learned. So I want to ask everybody, do you take the high road at every possible turn, right? Can you honestly look back and say that? Because the growth into ascension or enlightenment is about reflecting, making the necessary changes and growing. And, I always say that life happens through you and not to you, but it happens in your highest and best good to reach ascension. So sometimes bad things happen to us for a reason, to help us grow. And people are placed in your life to test you, that you're on the path that is for your highest and best good through the soul. The 3D world doesn't matter. It's all figment of your imagination, right? It's vibrational frequencies. Most of it's space. It's matter, mass, and space. So none of this stuff really matters. You're just here as a spiritual being living a human experience. None of it really matters. So it ends up being the only thing that you can be taken from you is the love that or the only thing that cannot be taken from you is the love that you cultivate in your own heart and the high road that you insist on taking. So, life just was never designed to be fair. It's designed to perfectly to be fair, honestly. And so, once you master being gracious and not treating others the way in which they treat you, once you master that, nobody can hurt you. The love that you put out exists within you. So when you open that door for somebody and they don't say thank you, they don't acknowledge you, you just smile and say, that's interesting. Or, thanks. You don't care. It doesn't bother you. Nothing can penetrate you. You wear a coat of armor, right? That the devil can't penetrate. Nobody can penetrate that. So, the high road is where maturity exists. And it's a life of intention. So be kind and gracious even when others are not to you. Stop doing what the last person did to you to the next person. Just because some person did it to you doesn't mean that now you're hurt and you're angry and you're in that place of victimhood so you bleed on everybody else, right? It's the only way the cycle of hurt ever ends, is to understand that love is one-sided. It doesn't need to be two-sided. The only love you need is cultivated in your own heart. That's it. There's nothing needed in return. And so next time someone does wrong, give them a hug and just say, good for you. That's it. And just walk away and you take the high road. because enlightenment is taking the high road. There is no right or wrong, but you're staying in honesty, morality, integrity. So remember, love is one-sided transaction that expects nothing in return, or it's conditional, right? So just know that, and the more horrible someone treats you, the brighter you will shine in that space. So that's where power comes from. True power is being vulnerable, opening the heart. It is not profit. It is not prestige. It is not power in the sense of control. None of that is power. None of that is real power. Real power is being vulnerable and opening your heart and loving unconditionally. So I invite anyone that wants to come at me with your worst, and I have nothing to do but give you a hug.